Well, Mr. Chairman, first I want to thank you for holding this hearing. I think this is what we should be doing, oversight on the AUMF, and I want to thank all three of our witnesses for their service to their country. Senator Risch, I think I'll answer your question. It's just possible that if we leave an authorization on the books, an administration will misuse that authorization. And I give you as an example the 2001 authorization, which has clearly been interpreted well beyond any of our interpretations when we voted for it. And I speak personally because, like the chairman, I was a member of the Congress in 2001, so was Senator Markey and others that voted for that. And we never, ever in our wildest dreams thought it would be used in 7 countries the way it's been used by now, I guess, 4 administrations. So one of the lessons that has been learned through this process is that we need, in considering AUMFs, to have some process in that AUMF for administrations to be able to update that authority with congressional approval or allow that authorization to expire. I think that's going to be critically important that we include in any further authorizations for the use of military force. And our lessons that we learned from that is the 2001 authorization. The 2002 repeal should not be controversial, and I understand Senator Risch's point, and I respect it greatly. But 2001 should also be repealed and replaced. And I just would like to talk about the urgency here and then ask the question. We're now in August of this Congress. Time is evaporating. This is not an easy subject to replace authorizations for the use of force. And in all due respect, I think it's absolutely essential for the administration to come forward as to the authorization that they need. Because you see, we all have different views about the threats that are out there, the geographical scope of any authorization, the requirements to come back to Congress if circumstances changes and what type of an approval process is necessary, the length of time for the authorization. All those are questions that each of us have different views. But the starting point should be those that have the responsibility to exercise the power to keep us safe, the executive branch, the president, to come to us and tell us what you need. And then let us debate it with you and hopefully come up with a replacement. Secretary Sherman, I very much respect your view on this. I thought your last statement about repealing outdated, broad, and unnecessary authorization for the use of military force like 2002 AUMF and for replacing them as needed with clear, narrow, and specific frameworks will allow us to continue protecting our people and our interests. I agree with that paragraph, but I would add 2001 rather than 2002. We've got to replace that. So I'm seriously considering whether there'll be an opportunity for us, Mr. Chairman, to put a sunset on the 2001, giving ample time for a replacement to be voted on by Congress, because otherwise I'm not sure we'll ever do it. It's just too easy for administrations to misinterpret the authority of 2001. And quite frankly, we're not at risk because, as our witnesses have testified, there's adequate authority under Article 2 to protect us. So Article 2 is there to protect us against any imminent threat. We're not going to be bare as far as protecting our country. The President will protect us as the Commander-in-Chief. But Congress should give the administration the authority they need and not just this broad use of an outdated authority. So Madam Secretary, can you give us what is wrong with us setting dates that we need to replace this by, recognizing that you always have Article 2 authority? I would hope the legacy of the Biden administration will be that future administrations will not be relying on the 2001 authorization in order to protect us from a threat that did not exist in 2001.
Thank you very much, Senator. As you know, the President of the United States served in this body for 36 years, and he has great regard for both the Article 1 responsibilities of the Congress and the Senate and the Article 2 authorities of the President of the United States. And he has committed, and we have all committed, to work with Congress to ensure that outdated authorizations for the use of military force are replaced with narrow and specific frameworks that will ensure we can continue to protect Americans from terrorist threats. There are a lot of complex questions involved in doing this, scope, duration, more, but we welcome enhanced congressional involvement and interbranch dialogue over the use of military force, including in protecting the United States and U.S. interests from the evolving terrorist threats we face. We know that these are changing. The chairman mentioned some, including in cyber, that have changed the nature of thinking about terrorist threats. So the administration is open and has begun already discussions with Congress to replace or revise the 2001 AUMF that might consider some of the following things: establishing a mechanism to add groups beyond those that may have been identified by name in the text of the AUMF, because as you point out, it has been relied upon in circumstances perhaps that you did not imagine, through appropriate input from and engagement between the President and Congress, or the executive branch in Congress, to establish a mechanism to add countries in which the use of force is authorized against particular groups, and to have a periodic review of groups and countries. So I think that there's a lot of work to be done. It may be that those kinds of ideas aren't the right ones, but those are things that we are willing to discuss, as well as other things that the Senate might put on the table. But we are in support, Senator, very much of continuing those discussions in a timely manner to reach a revised 2001 AUMF at the same time that we continue to support the repeal of the 1991 and the 2002 AUMFs, which we believe are not useful anymore and are not relied upon in any circumstance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Romney.